Coming up next is DC News number 132. It's going to be an Anthology Madness edition of DC News. We're going to talk about Threshold. It's shipping this week, our time. It's got 2 stories in it every issue. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Time Warp. Time Warp is going to be the new Vertigo book. We've talked about it before. It's going to have a character in it you know. DC Universe presents the story arc in 17 and 18. We've got the lowdown on that. And we're going to wrap it up with a non-anthology story. Swamp Thing's getting a new creative team. All that and more coming right up.
Alternate Reality now opens at 10:30 instead of 11 on Sundays. There's like half an hour sleep over this, and so you guys better show up.
It's time again for DC News, brought to you by Comic Book Man and Bo. Don't fight it. I promise it'll all be over soon.
Self-diagnosed multiple personality disorder, but I need a 23rd opinion. DC Comic Book News, episode 132, Chuckle Talk.
Tape is good.
Tape's engaged. How about that?
What are you,
Congratulations.
What are you, Jelly Picard?
Congratulations.
What do you think of that?
I think the tape engaged means we should start the show.
You know what I think?
What?
Hey folks,
Hey,
Comic Book
I
Man
have a
here.
cold,
Welcome once
okay?
again to my video outhouse. It's time for
DC News.
DC News. We're just coming to you from this place, Alternate Reality. Located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all my DC comics are always 15% off every day for everyone. Bo.
Yeah.
This is a potpourri edition again of DC News. No single theme. We're going to talk about a bunch of different
Welcome
stuff.
to the beginning of the new year where there's almost no news, but we
Yes.
find stuff because I have to look
Yes.
for it.
There's a new 52 series coming out starting this week, our time, called Threshold. And it's going to be another anthology book, superhero themed anthology book from DC. And what's this one going to be about?
Well, if you picked up a copy of Green Lantern New Guardians Annual #1, you met one of the main characters, a new Green Lantern. But it's about all these science fiction, outer space, cosmic heroes of the DC Universe who are trapped in a Hunger Games type world in which they have to be hunted down to the death.
Now, is there more than one story in each issue?
There's going to be 2 stories in each issue.
Hence the anthology part.
Keith Giffen and Tom Rayner are going to be doing the 20-page story, which is called The Hunted, and then there'll be a 10-page backup story in each issue, which I think Giffen's also writing, which will feature the Yellow Lantern and everyone's favorite, Larfleeze.
Oh, everybody loves Larfleeze.
They love him.
Rumor has it that Archie's
They
gonna be
love
up there,
him.
too.
And
They're gonna do a Hunger Games.
Scott Collins is drawing that 10-page backup.
Okay. Bo?
Yes.
Who's the new art team on Swamp Thing?
Well, the new writer is 27's Charles Soule. And you're going,
Who?
27? 27 is an Image book that is very well regarded in people inside of comics that nobody out of people who work in the Image and the immediate family give a crap about.
27?
27, it's an Image book. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
I've never heard of 27.
You probably never ordered more than one.
I've ordered more than one.
Okay,
I've
maybe
never
you've
heard
ordered
of
2.
27.
Charles
I've
Soule.
heard of 60. I've heard of 68.
No, 27.
Okay.
Charles Soule in Action Comics Kano, who really to me does not fit this, but he'll be drawing Swamp Thing starting with issue number I think 18 or 19. Kano is an action artist, and Swamp Thing is not an action character.
Literally an
but,
action artist.
But they're going to try to take an artist whose kinetic art style doesn't really fit the nature of the character and make it work. And Soule is very well regarded amongst comics fans, and he writes dark stuff and small stuff that sells almost nothing. And so it'll be a darker tone. And he's done some Image stuff because, in case you haven't picked up, most of these new guys working on these 52 books, replacing the people who've left, have been guys who worked at Image who basically DC went to them and said, "Hi, you want to work on the big time?" And they went, "Yeah, sure. What the hell?
Want to work in the majors, kid?
Come on up."
Want to go to the majors? Yeah. Okay. Bo.
Yeah.
As you may remember,
Yes.
a couple of DC News back,
Two DC News.
we talked about a new Vertigo title, which is actually an old DC title, Time Warp. It is also an anthology book, a bunch of science fiction stories in each issue from different writers, different creators. But there will be one character in there who some of you may be familiar with.
Jeff Lemire and Damon Lindelof, who've become fast friends for quite some time. Their story involves, and this is the only story that DC's announced as being in the book, involves Rip Hunter.
The Time Master.
So Rip Hunter will be involved in Time Warp, and we don't know what the other was going to be, but this, I think it's like 80, 85 pages. It'll ship in March. It should be on the latest solicitations, if not in the latest previous catalog in the next one, but at least you're going to have one major league character that people have heard of in this anthology, so that means it might actually sell.
Okay. Speaking of anthology books, DC Comics presents DC Universe presents, issue 17 and 18 will have a story arc featuring
Arsenal and Starfire, which will be written by Glory's Joe Keating, Morbius is Joe Keating, Hell Yes, Joe Keating. Joe Keating has become a go-to kind of guy. This will be the first work he's ever done with DC. It's a two-part story. The Arsenal story and the Starfire story are interconnected, and the way he got the book is they went, why don't you come over here and work on something? And he wrote the Arsenal story. They liked it. He said, well, we like that one. Why don't you do something else with Starfire? So he wrote the second story. And so we assume that Keating will be another part of the massive rotation of people wandering from company to company doing short-term jobs, but nothing ever really completely full-term.
Okay, and that's it. We're done with finish. We're out of here. We got no more DC news. Go to the store's website. Check out all the DC news that this man right here sends me.
Yes, I send it to him.
That I post up there. And Bo,
Sometime.
Bo,
Yes.
where does that person out there watching this go to find all that wonderful news that you see?
You're already on your computer, so what you do is you follow Sarah's advice and go right to that spot, and then come back.
www.maraltonetreality.com.
Thanks, Mickey.
And now that you're back, go to the store's website and check out all his news. And until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
And this is Bo.
Saying,
Hasta luego.
bye!
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.